America's North Woods border region. Within this land of 10,000 lakes and miles of dense timber, a hideous creature is believed to lurk.
The North Woods is probably one of the last frontiers in America. There's still a lot of places in this area that hasn't been set foot by man. Monsters and mysteries exist here because it is remote.
Up in the North Woods, winters are long. In times of biting cold and isolation, a devouring monster is believed to come forth. It's terrorized native people for generations.
Growing up, I was told, like, don't go outside, the Windigo will get you.
Among the traditions of the northern Algonquin tribes is the Wendigo, a monster that can seize hold of a person to carry out its hunger for human flesh.
The Windigo force itself would go somehow inside of their bodies and take over control of their faculties to a point where they become homicidal and cannibalistic.
According to the legends, someone infected by the Wendigo is capable of almost anything.
They have such a voracious hunger that they have chewed their own lips off. They're gnawing on their fingers. The more that they eat, their hunger does grow even more intense.
One of the most horrific cases of Wendigo possession unfolded in the 1870s, when a Cree Indian named Swiftrunner turned up in town, claiming his wife and children were missing. Police investigators suspected foul play.
When they walked to his campsite, they were horrified by what they saw. And it didn't take them very long to discover there was something more sinister to this story.
For centuries, the legend of the cannibalistic Wendigo has haunted parts of America's northern border. No one is safe in its path.
The Windigo is the predator of humanity. It stalks human beings relentlessly, but it also has the capacity to prey upon someone within their mind.
Once the Wendigo takes hold, you are a starving, savage beast with an insatiable hunger.
The legend of the Windigo originated in North America with the Native Americans. Reports of it go back to the very early historical records, probably in the 1500s.
Many Native Americans fear even talking about this Windigo, and even the mention of the name will let the Windigo find out where you are, and it will open you up to be possessed by this Windigo.
The most famous case of a Wendigo possession took place in 1879. In the deep woods outside of Edmonton, Alberta. Swiftrunner, a Cree Indian, was a trapper and a guide. He had left town the previous autumn with his wife, 6 children, and his mother. But when Swiftrunner returned in spring, he was alone.
Swiftrunner came into a nearby village telling this heartbreaking tale.
I had to watch them starve to death.
Of his family being killed by starvation, and that he was the only survivor.
My whole family gone.
It wasn't hard to understand a family falling victim to a brutal winter. Yet something was suspicious about Swiftrunner.
He was a strapping man, and he came into town weighing over 200 pounds. It didn't look like somebody who had just weathered a terrible winter. He wasn't malnourished, didn't look like he was starving. He looked healthier than ever.
After a few nights, it became clear that something was wrong.
He started having night terrors, screaming in his sleep.
I am the Windigo.
Villagers alerted the police.
Swiftrunner actually guided them back to his winter cabin. When they got there, that's when they saw the true horror. Human skulls were scattered around, many bones, some of which had been snapped in half, and the marrow inside had been drained. They had never seen anything like it. Swiftrunner had killed his entire family, shooting them, hitting them with an axe, strangling, and then eating most of their bodies.
Right up until the moment the noose was on his neck, Swiftrunner swore the evil spirit of the Wendigo had possessed him and twisted him into a cannibal killer.
When he was on the gallows, Swiftrunner himself said, "I am no longer a man."
In the unforgiving North Woods, hunger and horror go hand in hand.
The Wendigo can turn himself into anything. Look like somebody like you know. He is a spirit, and he's a man.